the Tim Reynolds Show's live play-by-play here for NFL Week 18 as we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers with playoff implications on the line. Welcome everybody to this badass football-loving, sports entertaining, awesome Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you very much. Everybody make sure you hit that like button and like and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, we'll get you started here for this up-and-coming NFL matchup here in Week 18 as we'll look at both teams here. Appreciate everybody for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. And we see right now the Cincinnati Bengals come in as a 2.5-point favorite in this matchup, but the ESPN matchup predictor has the Pittsburgh Steelers ahead in this one with a 53% chance to win this ball game. And now for the Cincinnati Bengals, some key injuries for them as running back Chase Brown will be inactive for this game after going through warm-ups and not being able to get through that ankle injury that he suffered last week against the Denver Broncos.
He also had a strip sack along the way.
And we see here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they will also be without wide receiver Scotty Miller in this particular matchup. And there's the terrible towel as we are in Pittsburgh.
Congratulations to you.
And TJ Watt is definitely going to be a key player to look out for here for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
You guys are already in the playoffs, but in your mind you said that this is a must-win game. How come?
We need to get in a rhythm. We need to get hot going into the playoffs, and we don't like what we put on display the last 3 weeks, so here's a chance to turn around.
What specifically has been off the last 2 weeks that you want to get back on track tonight?
I can only speak for defense. It's just not playing sound football, even going back to Pee Wee football. Just communication, tackling, get as many hats to the ball, creating those turnovers. That's what we need to get back to tonight.
You've said that you would like nothing.
TJ Watt definitely doing pretty dang good for the Steelers this year.
Joe Burrow from looking like an MVP.
We need to create, make havoc for him, make sure he can't get out of the pocket.
As the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to get back on track after they started the season 10-3, but have lost 3 straight games now and are at 10-6. So even though they've already clinched a playoff spot, they want to come into this game looking a lot better than what they have the last 3 weeks of the NFL season. Happy New Year, everybody, from Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel.
The country experienced a horrific act of violence with the heartbreaking tragedy in New Orleans.
And here we go, guys. Thank you for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. All right, we're going over some key matchups here for this game. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. And welcome to this NFL Week 18 live play-by-play and reaction from Tim Reynolds Show for the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome to the chat there, Olive 2213. Mustang, by the way, it's my favorite car. So guys, like I mentioned here before, for the Cincinnati Bengals, their key injury in this matchup is going to be starting running back Chase Brown will be inactive for this game with an ankle injury that he suffered last week against the Denver Broncos. So looking at the full injury report here for both teams as we head into this Saturday night matchup. So for the Cincinnati Bengals, Isaiah Thomas, the defensive end, Andrew Stubbard, the offensive tackle, Tanner McLaurin, the 4th-string tight end, and Sam Hubbard, the defensive end, will be inactive. Also, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins will also be inactive for this game. And also, rookie wide receiver Jermaine Burton, who was the main return man for the Cincinnati Bengals, will also be inactive for this game. Now we'll head over to the Pittsburgh Steelers injury report and see what key injuries they have and who they will be without here in this matchup. As we see, Deontay Jackson, the cornerback, will be out for this game. Scotty Miller, wide receiver, will also be inactive for this game. And Dean Lowry and Isaiah Loudermilk, 2 defensive tackles, will be out for this game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's up, Army Wife? My favorite baseball team is the Tampa Bay Rays. Thank you guys for hanging out here. What's up, Daniel Sports? Thank you guys for hanging out on Tim Reynolds Show for this live play-by-play as we're getting closer to kickoff for the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show on YouTube. All right, so those are your key injuries there. Now, let's look at the quarterback comparison here. Now, Russell Wilson hasn't started the whole year for Pittsburgh, but he has 2,334 yards passing this season, 15 touchdown passes, and 5 interceptions this year. But as of late, he hasn't been playing very well, or at least up to Russell Wilson standards for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Joe Burrow, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, number 9, is balling out this year, man. Looking like he's putting MVP-style numbers up this season. But with the record of his team, he'll definitely have to get this Cincinnati Bengals team into the playoffs if he wants a chance to be in the MVP conversation. As Joe Burrow has thrown for 4,641 yards this season with 42 touchdown passes and only 8 interceptions this season, as he leads the NFL right now in touchdown passes. And then we also got to go to the wide receivers, as wide receiver Jamar Chase is looking like he's going to get the triple crown this year, leading the league in receptions, leading the league in reception yards with 1,612, and also leading the league in touchdown receptions with 16 on the year. Cheers to you guys. Now that's how you get started, baby. Sugar Rush. Yeah. All right, chat, let me know, who do you think's going to win this matchup tonight? The Pittsburgh Steelers or the Cincinnati Bengals? Now, going over to the wide receiver comparison here for the Steelers offense, we see their big target is George Pickens, who has 58 catches on the year for 900 yards receiving and 3 TDs this year. So he's going to hope to get more touchdowns for next season, especially with only having 3 on the year. And the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers have not been able to find their number 1 target as often as they would like. Now, as far as the running game here for both teams, running back comparisons, obviously for the Cincinnati Bengals, their main guy was Chase Brown, who headed into this game with 990 yards on the ground and 7 rushing TDs, and he's also been a big help in the passing game. But Najee Harris has been doing a little bit better, but Chase Brown will be inactive for this game. And oh my goodness, it's Santonio Holmes, Super Bowl MVP, as the Pittsburgh Steelers will get the kickoff here to start this ball game here in Saturday Night Football. Actually, they'll kick it off to the Bengals. Looks like the Bengals are going to receive. And we are underway here on Saturday Night Football in Week 17, as we will see a return here from the Bengals. Number 18 is able to get it up to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Bengals will start this matchup.
Missed last week's game for the Steelers out with a bad hip. Here it is, Troy. Take it all in. Here's your guy, Joe Burrow, who's been awesome in 2024.
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's just putting it mildly. I just think what's amazing is typically when you put so much on a quarterback as Cincinnati has him this year, efficiency typically goes down. But it's been the opposite for Joe Burrow, as we said, coming.
And now here we go. Joe Burrow in the pistol hands it off on 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh stops the running back, as Herbert was not able to get far at all on that run. And Khalil Herbert, number 34, is the new starting running back here. And he gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and long coming up here for the Bengals. And the Cincinnati Bengals offense is 6th in the NFL, averaging 28.3 points per game. And now on 2nd and 10, ball's at the 27-yard line. Joe Burrow in shotgun. Joe's going to look to throw. The Steelers send a blitz, and that's caught by Gesicki, the tight end for the Bengals. And he's got enough for a Cincinnati first down.
Austin is the defensive coordinator. He's looking.
And the defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers is 7th in the NFL, allowing only 20.5 points per game this season. And we see Deontay Jackson, the cornerback, is inactive, and also Joey Porter Jr. is active for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line. Shotgun is Joe Burrow for the Bengals offense. He'll look to throw. 4-man rush, and that's a quick throw out to Higgins, who makes a nice catch on that one. I mean, wow, man. That was an excellent catch from Higgins, who's on the outside, turns around and just catches that ball with his hands. It does hit the ground, but it doesn't move. That is a beautiful grab from T. Higgins, and it's actually just short of a first down marker, so a gain of 9. It's 2nd down and 1 coming up for the Bengals. Burrow's in shotgun again. Ball at the 50-yard or the 49-yard line. 4 wide receiver set. Burrow's going to look to throw. Across the middle, that's Gesicki with the big gain all the way down to the 35-yard line. First down, Bengals. And that's a gain of 16 yards down to the Pittsburgh 36-yard line.
The single coverage against this offense, the Bengals do not see much single coverage. When they come in, teams usually...
What's up, Sam? All right, guys, here we go. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Burrow in shotgun. He'll hand it off to Herbert. Herbert up the middle on the draw play, stumbles and gets a gain of about 4 yards on that play. And he could have had a lot more if he was able to stay on his feet, as we've seen really good blocking on that play from the Cincinnati Bengals offense.
Bengals reshuffled offensive line. We'll get into that in a second. But he said our front better kill their front before their wide receivers.
And now here we go, guys. Cincinnati, 2nd down and 5, ball at the 31-yard line. Burrow in shotgun again. He'll hand it off to Herbert. Herbert goes to the left side, follows his blockers, and he's going to be short by about a yard from the first down marker. That's a gain of 3 or 4 yards on the play.
One career game with 25-plus touches. That was back in 2021 with the Bears. But they're without Chase Brown, who's really become a weapon for the Cincinnati Bengals. Last 8 games, he's averaging over 115 scrimmage yards a game. They miss him.
Well, they definitely miss him. And Khalil Herbert, his first 2 years in Chicago, he played second.
All right, here we go. Shotgun here for Joe Burrow on 3rd down and 1. Ball in the 27. Burrow's going to look to throw. Gets that out quick to his number 1 target, Jamar Chase, who's able to get the first down. Cincinnati.
Gain of 7.
Chase, they're going to move him around, and one of the good things about him, he starts in the backfield this time.
And we see that Chase actually started in the backfield there with Burrow, and he goes into the flat on the left side and still makes the catch.
He is to defend. Every defense comes in trying.
And that's a nice gain there all the way down to the Pittsburgh Steelers 19-yard line. So Cincinnati is in the red zone, and they've had one opening TD drive in the last 24 games against Pittsburgh. Burrow's going to look to throw on 1st and 10. That's caught by Jamar Chase, and he gets it down to the 12-yard line. That's a gain of 7 yards on the play.
With answers, and they have had 0 so far.
Well, Jackson is inactive.
And we see there
Corey Trice is making the start.
Jamar Chase on the left side of the formation. A nice out route to the left. Number 27, the defender, slips on the play, and Chase is able to take advantage. Burrow 5 for 5 to start this game from 52 yards. Now at the 12-yard line, it's 2nd and 3. Burrow in shotgun. He's going to look to throw. Pittsburgh sends a blitz, and that's a touchdown! Cincinnati! And that's a 12-yard TD catch from Jamar Chase. And the Bengals get on the board here first to start this game on their opening drive, as we see Chase was one-on-one with the cornerback, and he's going to win that every time as he gets into the end zone for his 17th touchdown grab this season.
Replacing the starter and Deontay Jackson. And now the extra point for Cade York. And it's 7-0 in a blink. Joe Burrow 6 for 6, 64 yards, 3 completions to Jamar Chase. Touchdown catch number 17. This offense red hot on a cold night. Up 7.
Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and like and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, I got the message pinned at the top of the chat where you'll see the update for the score going on here. And Sam, hope you're feeling better, man. And congratulations to your Chargers on making the playoffs this year. All right, guys, so on that last drive for the Cincinnati Bengals, they were able to go 9 plays for 73 yards, and Joe Burrow was able to hit Jamar Chase for the 12-yard TD reception. As we see on that drive, Joe Burrow went 6 for 6 for 64 yards and throws the touchdown pass. And we also see Jamar Chase added 3 catches for 27 yards and the touchdown. But it was Mike Gesicki who got them down there with 2 catches for 28 yards on that drive. Now the big question is going to be, will we be able to see the Cincinnati Bengals running game play well throughout this ball game? Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is playing very, very well against the run against the Bengals. Sam, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, dude. That Chargers-Raiders game should be pretty fun.
Drive tonight for the Cincinnati Bengals. The ball was coming out, and it was coming out on target.
Well, that's the key against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Burrow has played them enough. He understands that front 7 is really good. You cannot hold the football when T.J. Watt is coming after you. But in order to protect against them getting the ball out quick, you got to challenge the receivers a little bit, and that is what they did not do. And the last throw for the touchdown to Jamar Chase, I mean, I can only imagine what's going through Corey Trice's mind. His first NFL start, he's locked up with the best receiver in football.
That is the fastest time to throw on an opening drive this season for Joe Burrow. It was just 2 steps, 3 steps, goodbye, and down the field into the end zone.
Yeah, he makes it look so easy. And as someone who played the position, it's anything but. But he's surgical when he's out there throwing the football.
We talked to him prior to that Dallas game that we did, and you said, have you ever played better football? And his answer was no, and I don't even think it's super close.
Yeah, how about that? You know, the beautiful thing about him, if you ask him a question, be prepared for an honest answer. He's going to give it to you.
How about that kick? That's going to put the ball at the 40, as that ball didn't even come close to landing in the landing zone.
Free kick.
And that's going to be a penalty flag.
Landing zone. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
And Pittsburgh will start this opening drive for them at the 40-yard line after that penalty flag. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as we see Russell Wilson, who is 6-4 this season, averaging 233 passing yards per game as he comes out to lead Pittsburgh on their first drive of the first quarter. As Cincinnati does lead 7-0 here with just under 10 minutes remaining in the quarter.
I think part of it, Joe, is for a guy like Russell Wilson, throughout his career, the big play, the deep ball, is such a part of his game that when you're not getting it, you start trying to force some throws, and that's essentially what happened last week. In the red zone.
And now we got first down coming up here for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson in the shotgun, Najee Harris in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Harris. Harris up the middle, a gain of 4 yards on the play up to the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 6 coming up here for Pittsburgh. And they're 24th in the NFL in 4.1 yards per rush this season. And their 13.3 points per game during their 3-game losing streak is 29th in the NFL. So hopefully they'll be able to get the ball to wide receiver George Pickens, who is their #1 target. 2nd down and 7 coming up here. Ball on the 44-yard line. Russell Wilson in shotgun. Quick throw out to George Pickens, and he gets stumbled up only after a gain of 1 yard on the play. And the crowd wanted a penalty flag there as there was a bit of a late hit. But instead, that's a good stop there from the Cincinnati Bengals offense. So they're going to say no gain, not even a gain of a yard there on that one.
They have gained some confidence as they've started to have more success during this 4-game win streak. He's changed some of what they've done within their coverages, and they've begun giving a little bit more help to these outside corners, especially the rookie.
Here we go, 3rd down and 7 for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson is in the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set. Oh, and they didn't get a penalty marker there as the right tackle moved early, but Cincinnati gets the sack there. And who is it? It's Trent Henderson with number 15 on the year, which gives him the NFL lead. And now he could be walking away of Saturday night as the NFL sack leader, as Trent Henderson on the left side of the line here. We'll see him get around number 65 using his power, using his athleticism, and he gets Russell Wilson down to the ground. And now they'll force a punt here from Pittsburgh. And Waitman makes the catch. He makes a person move. And, oh, man, a big hit there from Pittsburgh special teams. And we'll see the Cincinnati Bengals come back out on offense here as the defense for Cincinnati forces a quick 3-and-out. And now Cincinnati comes back out with the football on offense as they lead 7-0 here with 7:47 left to go in the first quarter. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and like and subscribe to the channel. All right, so for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they end up losing a lot of yards there on that sack, 9 yards there, and end up pushing themselves back to a 4th and 16. So, of course, they have to punt the ball back to the Bengals. Now, will the Bengals take advantage of this as they have good field position here at the 33-yard line to start their next drive? Oh, yeah! Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Cheers to you guys. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Can you believe it's already 2025, folks? I mean, gosh darn it. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. And we're back from commercial break.
They have a 500 record, but they've got 3 guys doing amazing things. Joe Burrow leading the league in pass yards and pass touchdowns. Jamar Chase just tied the franchise.
And no team has ever had an NFL leader in passing yards, reception yards, and sacks for a single team. And we could see it here for the Cincinnati Bengals. But the sad part is, guys, they need to win and get some help to get in the playoffs.
In sacks now after that last sack to open up this game, and yet all they have. So they don't have a complimentary pass rusher on the opposite side, so all of the offensive attention can go.
All right, here we go. Joe Burrow comes back out here in shotgun on 1st and 10. 3 wide receiver set. Pittsburgh sends a 4-man rush, a quick throw from Joe Burrow, and that's the backup tight end, number 85, with the catch, and that's a gain of 9 yards on that play.
And he's knocked out with a gain
As
of
that's
9.
Cam Gandy, number 85, with the catch, a gain of 9, 2nd and 1 coming up here.
Overcome a few things. Tonight is one of those as well. They've moved Cody Ford, who's been starting at left guard. They move him out to right tackle for Amarius Mims. And that's a big job for him. He has played a little right tackle this year. He started.
All right, here we go. 2nd down and 1. They hand it off to Herbert, and Herbert gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A great play there from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and that'll go down as a loss of 1 yard on the play. As Terrence Trice Jr., who's replacing Deontay Jackson, number 27, able to make the open field tackle on Herbert, number 34, and that's a loss of 1 yard. So 3rd down and 2 coming up here for the Bengals.
And now, with very little time at right tackle this season, he's being tasked with trying to block this guy.
And here we go now. Joe Burrow in shotgun by himself. 3rd and 2, ball at the 40. Burrow with another quick throw to Gesicki, and Gesicki has another Cincinnati first down. Woo!
We've seen some of the things that Cincinnati is capable of doing. Here's a look at Ford going one-on-one. Now, he's going to get help at times, but as you mentioned, Joe, the way that Burrow is getting the ball out of his hands so quickly, when they do have the quick game called, they're going to block 5 up front.
Here we go. Joe Burrow in shotgun on 1st and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. Burrow looking to throw. Looking, scrambling to his right. Still looking. Dumps that off, and he gets it to T. Higgins, who's got the first down. A nice play there by Joe Burrow, scrambling around, making sure he buys his receivers time to get open, and T. Higgins catches that one for a gain of 11 yards on the play down to the Pittsburgh 43-yard line. And a nice scramble drill there from T. Higgins, who made sure to get open there in the zone coverage to help out his quarterback and give the Bengals another first down. And now we see here Joe Burrow in shotgun. Ball at the 44-yard line. He'll hand it off to Herbert on the draw play. Herbert got some room, trucks over a man, and gets it all the way down to the 35-yard line. That's a nice gain there of 8 yards on that carry. And how about T. Higgins, man? Last week with 3 touchdown receptions to help the Bengals keep their playoff hopes alive. Even catching the game winner in overtime.
I just can't imagine him not returning to Cincinnati.
And here we go. 2nd down and 2. Burrow in shotgun. He'll look to throw. Gets that out to his running back, and Herbert makes an excellent effort, but they may keep him short of the line to gain. So because he's short there, 3rd down and 1 coming up here for the Bengals.
He's going to be fine tonight. I liked him when he was in Chicago and what he was able to do, but where you miss Chase Brown the most is in the passing game. Chase Brown this year had more catches in this season than Khalil Herbert has had in his entire career. So it's just not a big part of his game. And so they'll miss.
So 3rd down and 1 coming up here for the Bengals. Joe Burrow in shotgun. He'll hand it off to Herbert. Herbert's got enough for the first down on that draw play up to the 30-yard line.
The Steelers that haven't won a playoff game since 2016. They've lost 3 in a row. And the Cincinnati Bengals are carving their way right through them.
Yeah, this is as good a start as Cincinnati could have hoped for. They went right down the field on the opening drive, force a 3-and-out with a Trey Hendrickson sack to cap that one off, and here they're on the march.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense on the ropes right now. Joe Burrow in shotgun on 1st and 10, 4 wide receiver set. Burrow's going to look to throw again. Dumps it off to his running back, and Herbert breaks a tackle and gets a nice gain of about 5 yards on that catch and run.
More action than he's ever had in the NFL at this pace. Patrick Queen and Montrevious Adams combined on the stop, but a gain of 5.
Well, they had Zach Moss to begin the season with Chase Brown, and then when Moss went down mid-season, that's when they made the trade for Khalil Herbert. And we saw Chase Brown.
And here we go, Joe Burrow in shotgun again.
He was going to be a go. It was a game-time decision, and he just didn't have it. They were hoping that he might be able to.
4 wide receiver set, second down and 6. Burrow looking to throw, fakes the handoff, and Gesicki makes the catch, but he's tackled immediately. Number 25, Elliott, makes the tackle, but we got a penalty marker on the play.
Eligible man downfield, so the call is against Cincinnati on top of that play.
An eligible member of the offense downfield illegally, number 67. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So that penalty was on the Cincinnati Bengals. So that'll back them up there.
At the end of overtime in the win over Denver, that's Chase Brown trying to see if he could go. A shake of the head, and that's it. So not available. They have Travion Williams, Khalil Herbert, and Kendall Milton.
All right, here we go. Joe Burrow in shotgun, a big 3rd down and 6 for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. 3 wide receivers to the top of the field. Blitz coming for Pittsburgh. Burrow, that ball's out. That's a fumble, and Herbert's able to get on top of it. As Pittsburgh's defense comes up big there, it almost forces the turnover. But now, after that sack and fumble recovered by the offense, Cincinnati will get a chance here at a field goal.
He doesn't squeeze it, so Patrick Queen, he's got a free run.
So Patrick Queen comes open free, gets to Burrow, and that pops loose there after the sack. And Herbert's able to get on top of it. And now we'll see a 48-yard field goal attempt here from Cade York of the Cincinnati Bengals. And the kick is up and good for the Bengals, and they will take a 10-0 lead here with 1:24 left to go here in the first quarter.
Highsmith still trying to walk that one off after making the play on Burrow.
Week 18 continues tomorrow on CBS and Fox. Then the NFL regular season concludes with Sunday Night Football in Detroit as the Vikings square off against the Lions at 8:20 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Stream games live on your mobile device with NFL Plus.
All right, 3rd time's a charm. Here we go. It's okay. Get on the next one.
Pressure's getting to him.
All right, guys, there's your updated score in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Been a pretty slow night thus far. And after that last drive for the Cincinnati Bengals, we'll go over the stats here for you guys. So that's their 2nd drive of the game. And the Bengals were able to take it 11 plays, 37 yards, and they get the 48-yard field goal from Cade York. And with that, they now take a 10-0 lead here in the first quarter with 1:24 remaining here in the first.
And Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. We'd like to give a huge thank you to the NEP Group for providing our mobile unit trucks and their incredible engineers for ESPN's NFL coverage over the last several decades. This is their last season with us. They'll all be greatly missed. Bruce Hoganboom, who's been with us for 34 years, Tim Macy for 21. Can't thank you guys enough for the world-class service that you provided over the years. It's a 10-0 start.
Yeah, what a great job. It takes a village. You see all those trucks and what goes into broadcasting a football game. Quite a production.
They drove across country from Santa Clara after last Monday night on their short.
And we'll see a return here from Pittsburgh as they break some tackles and get that all the way down to about the 27-yard line. So good, decent field position here for Pittsburgh on this next drive.
Back to work goes the Steelers offense. This unit has to figure it out and kick it back into gear. They gave up 5 sacks here on Christmas Day against Kansas City. And they have had a tough time putting up points here over the last 3 games with a minute 15 remaining in the opening quarter.
And now here we see Pittsburgh 1st and 10, ball at the 27. Russell Wilson under center. Harris in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him. 22 trips and gets it inside. Oh, he stays on his feet. And he's able to get enough for the first down. Pittsburgh. And that's the Steelers' first down of this game. A nice run for 11 yards by Najee Harris, who tripped up on the left side but was able to keep his balance and gets it past the first down marker. So now 1st down and 10 for Pittsburgh. After that gain there. Now ball on the 37-yard line after that gain of 10 yards. They toss it to Harris. Harris goes back to the left side, cuts back inside, but he's met behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 1 yard on that carry for Pittsburgh.
Quarter loss of 1. Shaka Hayward came up to make the stop.
Well, when we visited with Lou Anarumo yesterday, compared to when we talked to him before the Dallas game, he felt like he was a little lighter.
And here we go, 2nd down and 11 for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson under center. Najee Harris in the backfield. Play action. Wilson under duress and has to get rid of that quickly. Trying to get it to his running back, Najee Harris. But that's incomplete on the play. So now 3rd down and 11 coming up here for Pittsburgh as the pressure is getting home for the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
That they've had this year have been really frustrating for them, but Trey Hendrickson able to apply the pressure. They read it out pretty well. But the biggest thing that they've done here.
So now here, this will be the last play of the first quarter with 2 seconds remaining after that incomplete pass. It's 3rd down and 11 for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson is in shotgun. We'll see what he can do here. Ball snap. Wilson looking to throw. Downfield to the right side. And that's caught. Mike Williams. And what a grab. As they say, he caught it inbounds. And that's a Pittsburgh Steelers 1st down. And Mike Williams, beautiful toe drag there. And hangs on to it going to the outside. And that's a gain of 26 yards all the way down to the Cincinnati Bengals 38-yard line. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter as the Cincinnati Bengals lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-0. All right, guys, got that pinned for you at the top of the chat for you guys to know what the score is. How y'all doing today, man? Everybody having a good time? Happy New Year's to everybody. I know we just hanging out here, just me and a couple of people, looks like, you know what I mean? What a fantastic Saturday. What a fantastic football Saturday we got going on in the NFL. What you guys think about the crazy stuff going on, huh? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the NFL. I tell you what, man. How about Lamar Jackson? How is he not going to win the MVP this year? The guy's got his most career touchdown passes in a season. Not Not only that, he also becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 40 touchdown passes and rush for over 800 yards in a single season. That's right. If Lamar Jackson's not the MVP this year, the NFL is definitely, let's just say, manipulated? Huh? Let's just say it's a little bit fugazi? Huh? Come on, guys. We all know who the MVP is this year. And not only that, I'd like to say that Offensive Player of the Year for both conferences should be a running back. But in the AFC, it's probably going to go to Jamar Chase. How do you not be Offensive Player of the Year when you win Triple Crown? I mean, come on.
Gets lost once the ball is coming into the hands of Mike Williams. But for Williams to be able to track the football, keep his feet in bounds, that's but there are defensive backs that can be in the best position and then they just kind of panic right when the ball is about to be caught, and that's kind of what happened to Josh Newton. He was in such a good position, and watching him this year since he took over, he's had to.
So now here we go, first down and 10 for Pittsburgh, now at the 39-yard line. Snap, Russell Wilson hands it off there. That's Warren, number 30, the backup running back, with a gain of 4 yards on that carry. So second down and 6 coming up here for Pittsburgh.
By this Pittsburgh offense, and if they had gone out again, and then you're down 10 points, giving the ball back to Cincinnati, and try to get something going. And I do know from experience that when you're struggling a little.
All right, here we go. Russell Wilson under center.
A play like that.
Ball at the 35-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Definitely need to have a good showing.
And they'll toss it here to Warren in the backfield. Goes to the right side, and he's tackled immediately after a gain of 1 yard on that play.
They've got two rookies up front defensively for the Bengals.
So the Bengals defense showing up here after that big gain. And now third down and long coming up for Pittsburgh as they were able to find Warren there and tackle him down for no gain on the play.
Yeah, there's a look at it. And, yeah, those young players that they've got on the inside, they put a lot on their shoulders this year to help them out in run defense. So
Pittsburgh here in shotgun. Wilson looking to throw. Oh, and that's batted down from the Bengals, but we got a penalty flag on the play.
Cam Taylor-Britt in coverage, and a flag flies.
Yeah, this is a good call. You're going to see Cam Taylor-Britt. He impedes his progress.
Pass interference. Defense, number 29.
And that penalty flag will be on the Cincinnati Bengals cornerback, Cam Taylor-Britt. And that'll be an automatic first down for Pittsburgh.
Russell was calling for the flag, and he and the Steelers get it for a first down.
That seam route, similar to what they just hit.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers offense catches a break here.
One of the routes that Russell Wilson throws very well in an
Russell
area
Wilson
where
under
down
center.
here.
Najee Harris in the backfield.
Cincinnati defense the last time these two teams met.
Handoff there for Najee Harris. He's got some room up the middle, trucks a man over, and he's got another Pittsburgh first down.
That's quite a hole up there for Najee Harris, and watch Geno Stone here.
And we see there a cut back there from 22, Najee Harris, as he trucks over the safety, and that's a gain there on that play of 11 yards from Najee Harris, all the way down to the Cincinnati Bengal 18-yard line. And a handoff there from Najee Harris, and he gets that up to the 15-yard line as the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the red zone for the first time here. What will they do? What will they do? What will they do? What will they do?
He has made every start since he was drafted.
And Najee Harris, very durable, has gotten over 1,000 yards rushing in each season since he's entered the league. The only player with 1,000 yards plus in each of the last 4 seasons at the running back position.
1,000-yard running back seasons with 17 games. I mean, there was a time 1,000 yards was quite an accomplishment, but it's not so much anymore.
And Najee Harris with another nice carry there, close to a first down. down to the Cincinnati Bengals 9-yard line. So 3rd down and 1 coming up here for Pittsburgh, and we'll see what they're able to do here.
You would expect them to be a little bit better last week. And that loss to Kansas City, just 1 for 4 in the red zone. And as we all know, this is where games are won and lost.
And there's a QB sneak there from Russell Wilson on 3rd and 1 from the 9-yard line. And I believe he'll have a Pittsburgh Steeler 1st down, and he will.
And he got it. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
1st down, Pittsburgh. And on this drive, 10 plays, 65 yards for the Pittsburgh offense as they're looking to get back in this ball game.
Play number 11.
1st and goal, Steelers.
First quarter. The 3rd long completion to Mike Williams.
Russell Wilson under center here. Najee Harris in the backfield. And Wilson changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He'll hand it off to Najee Harris. Harris runs to the right side, and he's barely able to get a yard on that carry. So 2nd down and goal coming up here for Pittsburgh.
2nd down and goal. 2nd and goal from the 8.
And here we go here, 2nd and goal. Hand off to Najee Harris. Harris staying on his feet, but only able to get a gain of 2 yards on that tough carry. Ball at the 5-yard line, so 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh.
If they can get the one-on-one situation, it's a matchup that favors Pittsburgh. And Mike Hilton, I really like this player. He comes off the edge. He's very aggressive. He's physical in the run game. He's an outstanding blitzer, but he has struggled at times this year when he has been locked up in coverage. And when you get down to this area, you're going to see some of that man coverage, and you've got some opportunities. He's lined up opposite of Van Jefferson in the slot.
And here we go. Russell Wilson looking to throw. Oh, and there's a penalty marker. There's got to be no one. And there it is in the back of the field. He was grabbing the arm of the tight end.
There is a flag down in the end zone. Cam Taylor.
And we'll see what the penalty marker is. And that's pass interference on the defense. And that penalty occurred in the end zone, so it's going at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
Penalties. He gets off the hand. I didn't see a whole lot there, Russ, but maybe he grabs that left arm enough that draws the flag.
Yeah, there's not a lot there, but officials are looking for a one-armed receiver. He goes up with one arm. They're going to call that most of the time. I agree, not a lot, but there's enough to support it.
Yeah, when you slow it down, you definitely.
And here we go, Russell Wilson under center, I formation. They'll hand it off to Najee, and Harris is in the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! And with that touchdown, the Steelers crawl back into this ball game. And that was a beautiful drive there. 13 plays, 73 yards, and the extra point is good as the Pittsburgh Steelers now trail 7-10 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Pro Bowl kicker for the 2nd time. Chris Boswell knocks it through, and it's a 3-point game. Wasn't always pretty. A couple of penalties. Help the Steelers. Stan Moore gets to spike it. Harris gets the touchdown. 10-7. Bengals.
And there you go, guys. I got you updated on the chat on the top in the pin messages. Yeah. Whew. Pretty good game so far, huh? Don't you think? Not too bad, not too bad.
Super Bowl. Let's see. This one, this is going to be $32,500 plus fees. That is.
Bengals right tackle Cody Ford will be taking the field when the offense gets back out there, but he spent a significant amount of time in the medical tent. They were looking at his left ankle. He was originally listed as questionable, but again, it looks as though he will be good to go and able to get back on the field. But remember that Ford is filling in for Marius Mims. Mims has a broken hand, but again, he is available. He's in uniform tonight. They told us they were only going to go to him in an emergency, but Mims is available if needed.
Yeah, Mims started the game last week, but left after the first two series. But it looks like, as Lisa said, Cody Ford is good to go.
Whoa, and here come the Bengals on the kick, return, turn. He makes a man miss, and he's down the field, and he's gone past the 40, close to the 45-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. And a nice return there of 39 yards from the Cincinnati Bengals return man, Peyton, or Isaiah Williams.
I mentioned he's had starts at left guard when he took over for Cordell Volson. He has starts at left tackle helping out with Orlando Brown. Now tonight, he moves over to the right tackle. Everybody talks about wanting to be a team player, whatever is.
Here we go, first down and 10 for the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow in the pistol formation. He'll hand it off to Herbert. Herbert up the middle. Got a nice gain there, but there is a penalty marker on the play.
Khalil Herbert gets the ball. And John Hussey will sort through it. One of the Steelers may have lined up offside.
And we'll see what the penalty is.
Offside. Defense number 56.
Offsides on the defense.
From the previous spot. First down.
Replay, first down.
And it's Alex Highsmith, who we've seen limping around a little bit here early, who lined up offside.
Boy, he is right there to begin with when he's lined up. I mean, you can't get any closer and nudge that line any more than he was, so you get any pre-snap movement, and a good job there by the officials.
And now here we go, first down and 5 for the Bengals. Joe Burrow in shotgun. Play action, looking to throw across the middle through the hands of his wide receiver, Yoshivash.
And that's the first incompletion for Burrow. It comes with an asterisk because that went off the hands of Yoshivash.
It sure does.
And we see here on the replay, Yoshivash comes open in the middle of the field, and Yoshivash is just not able to bring it in. Right in his hands, thrown a little behind him, but still a catchable ball there for the Cincinnati Bengals offensive player.
They played predominantly three wide receiver personnel packages, but once Boyd...
Here we go now, Joe Burrow in shotgun, second down and 5. Ball on the 49-yard line.
That's what we saw from Boyd during his time as a Bengal.
Burrow looking to throw. Corner blitz came from Pittsburgh. Joe gets it out to his tight end, Mike Gesicki, who's got enough for a Cincinnati Bengal first down.
As the Bengals pick it up, and it's first down, Cincinnati with under 9 to go. That's Cameron Sutton who came across and fell in, but no flag. And Gesicki, he's been busy here.
So now first and 10, ball on the 46. After that gain there of 5 yards, Herbert in shotgun with Burrow. Hands it off to Herbert. That's a draw play there. And he gets it past the 45-yard line to the 44. So now 2nd down and 8 coming up here for the Cincinnati Bengals.
A lot of these edge rushers, they'll play both sides, but that's really not the case with T.J. Watt. About 99% of the time, he is lined up over the right tackle. So when Cody Ford knew he was going to be the starter tonight in this game at the right tackle position.
Now we'll see here, 2nd down and 8 for Cincinnati. Burrow in shotgun again. Hands it off to Herbert on the draw play. And up the middle, maybe a gain of 2 yards there. And now 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Bengals offense.
Who was on the field to start this possession, and now they've taken Pierre off the field, and Corey Trice is back in the game. So it looks like they'll continue to rotate those two players, making up for the loss of Dante Jackson.
3rd and 6.
So now 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Bengals offense. Ball is at the 42-yard line. Joe looking to throw, dumps it off to his running back, Herbert. Is tackled down a yard short of the marker. And that'll bring up 4th down and 1 for the Bengals at the at the Pittsburgh 37-yard line. Easy decision here for the Bengals offense. They're going for it on 4th down.
Immediately, no hesitation there by head coach Zach Taylor. Going forward here on 4th down. But Burrow, hard to confuse him with looks. They came with 3 guys.
And here we go, 4th down conversions. 56% on the year, which is 20th in the NFL. It's 4th and 1. Ball at the 37-yard line. Burrow in shotgun looking to throw. And that's tipped. And it's incomplete as the Pittsburgh Steelers defense shuts down Joe Burrow and the offense on 4th down. Yeah. And it's Cameron Hayward, the veteran, able to get his hands up and bat that one down. And that's a turnover on downs for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. And Pittsburgh will take over at the 37-yard line. Love isn't always on time. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I know that some people don't always have some time for Tim Reynolds Show. Whoa. Appreciate everybody hanging out here. Bum, 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 bum. On Tim Reynolds Show on Saturday night. Bum, 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 bum. With football playing on Saturday. Bum, 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 bum. You know Tim Reynolds Show's gonna be right on time. Oh, oh. Just trying to have a little fun here, guys. You know what I'm saying? Man, I wish we had some more people jumping in the chat with us. Love to get that chat popping. See if you guys got any questions that you want to ask as we are watching the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals in Pittsburgh. But the Bengals lead right now 10-7 over them Steelers. But the Steelers defense just came up with a huge stop. And now we'll see the Pittsburgh Steelers offense take over at their own 37-yard line after that turnover on downs. So bring it on down. Bring it on down. Just bring it on down. Bring it on down. Just bring it on down. Bring it on down. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Up the AFC North.
And we see the playoff scenarios here. The Bengals will clinch the 7th seed with a win, plus a Miami Dolphins loss or tie, and a loss from the Denver Broncos tomorrow. And the Steelers clinch the 5 seed with a win today.
To Buffalo in the playoffs. They need a loss by the Denver Broncos against Kansas City and Carson Wentz. A loss or tied by Miami.
And here we go. Pittsburgh comes out first in 10. Ball on the 38-yard line. Russell Wilson under center. Receiver in motion. They'll hand it off there to Warren. Warren makes a man miss behind the line of scrimmage, and he's able to get past the 40-yard line down to the 42 for a gain of 4 or 5 yards on that play. Call it a gain of 3. Oh, my bad. No, it's a gain of 4. So 2nd down and 6 coming up here. Handoff again to Warren, and Warren takes that up for a gain of 3 yards. And now 3rd down and 3 coming up here at the Pittsburgh Steelers 45-yard line.
After they lost Week 13 to the Steelers was 4-8, as you talked about, and to win, they've been in playoff mode ever since, fighting for their life.
So 3rd down and 3 here for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Russell Wilson in shotgun. He'll look to throw, and that's batted down. A good play there from Newton, the cornerback for the Bengals, and that's going to force a 4th down and 3 for Pittsburgh, and they'll have to punt it back to the Bengals. Talk about really good job there from the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They come up with a huge play there and a quick 3 and out for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Was against the Steelers, and he really struggled. Waitman dropped the snap. It was ugly, but it's out of bounds after he's able to get it away.
Oh, wow.
At the 14.
So the ball gets to the 14-yard line after a bad snap there, but the kicker there still able to pick that up and get rid of it.
Knocks it out of bounds at the 14-yard line. 10-7, Bengals ball.
And now Bengals lead 10-7 with 5 minutes, 32 seconds here in the 3rd quarter. What's going on, Motown Mitch, my brother? How you doing, man? Lions rule and Bears drool. Hell yeah. Don't forget to hit that like button, brother. Hey, we doing pretty good, man. It's been kind of a quiet night here on Tim Reynolds Show as we are watching the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Bengals leading right now 10-7 in the 2nd quarter with just over 5 minutes remaining. Motown Mitch, hope you're having a good night, brother. You excited about the game tomorrow night? All right, so guys, Cincinnati on that last drive went 6 plays, 19 yards. The Pittsburgh defense was able to force a turnover on downs, and now Pittsburgh, after they get the ball back in good field position, has a quick 3 and out of their own, and now we'll see the Bengals offense come back out at the 16-yard line here for their next possession as they have the lead 10-7. Lovers and always on time. Oh. So now we see Russell Wilson for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive stats. We see he is 2 for 4 right now for 25 yards passing. And we also see Najee Harris is running the ball very, very well. 9 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown for Pittsburgh, averaging 3.9 yards per carry. Hell yeah, congratulations, Motown Mitch. Sounds like you're having yourself a wonderful night. And hell yeah, I got the Bengals too, brother. And now we see Joe Burrow come out here in 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line for the Bengals offense. In shotgun. Burrow looking to throw here. Looking, still in the pocket, scrambles to his right, still looking to throw the ball, and he just dumps it off there to his tight end, and that's Sample with the catch and a gain of 9 yards, but there is a penalty flag on the play, and this could be coming back.
Is good for 8.
And that will be a penalty on the Cincinnati Bengals. Illegal man downfield.
Penalty, 1st down.
Let's take Karras, the center. Former New England Patriot who's made every start this year for Cincinnati went too far.
Yeah, let's take a look. They got Cordell Volson on the prior possession. He just loses he was downfield. That's a good call. That's calling it pretty tight. But that,
and here we go after the penalty. It's first down and 15. Ball at the 11-yard line. Burrow in shotgun. Looking to throw. Pittsburgh brings a four-man rush, and Burrow's got to dump it off to his running back, Herbert. And Herbert barely gets that up to the 15-yard line after taking a big hit from Patrick Queen. So a short gain there of 4 yards. Second down and 11 coming up here for the Bengals offense.
He's been bothered by that bad left ankle. Oh, man. He gets kicked at the end of that play. Cody Ford, who Zach Taylor went to meet with him just to thank him for all he's done.
Second and 11 at the 15-yard line for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Burrow in shotgun. He's going to look to throw. Gets it off quick to Jamar Chase. Chase with a nice catch and refuses to go down until he's gang tackled there just past the 22-yard line.
What he's been able to do to be able to, he's played every position pretty much, and he's playing hurt, as we heard from Lisa Salter.
So third down and 3.
As she said, the rookie Amarius Mims, he's got a broken right hand. He's got a club on it, so him trying to get out there and block T.J. Watt, was going to be a challenge for him. It's a challenge.
So here we go. Third down and 3 for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is in shotgun. Oh, and we see T.J. Watt got a nice jump, and 91 gets in there to clean it up. T.J. Watt forced Joe Burrow up in the pocket, and we see Preston Smith, the former Green Bay Packer, now Pittsburgh Steeler, gets the sack on the play. Boom! What a play there for Pittsburgh's defense. Hard-nosed, tough defense as they get in on the pocket and sack Joe Burrow for a loss of 4 yards. And it's fourth down and 7 coming up here. And the Bengals will have to punt the ball away. And we'll see here a return from Austin. And 19, fumble! And the Bengals get the ball back. A crucial mistake here from the Pittsburgh Steelers return man as Austin fumbles the ball and the defense and special teams falls on it for the Bengals.
Davis Gaither ends up with the ball. Well, that was an area coming into this game that Mike Tomlin felt good about, was them winning the special teams battle. Just a good play there by Hayward that knocks it out.
And it's Hayward, number 50, the linebacker, knocks that ball out and right into the hands of another Cincinnati Bengals defender there on the special teams play. And the Bengals come up with the ball now here at the 33-yard line. Joe Burrow and the offense back on the field. And there's a penalty flag on the play, and we got a false start.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So false start will back up the Bengals offense there. And the Steelers, 10th straight game with a turnover. That's not something you want to see. And that's the longest active streak in the NFL. Not a good start here for Pittsburgh. And now Joe Burrow is in shotgun. 3 wide receiver set to the bottom of the screen. Burrow here in shotgun. Pittsburgh showing blitz. They only bring 4, but they do bring someone off the edge. Joe's looking to throw, scrambles to his right, and that's caught from Yoshivash. And Yoshivash, they are able to get a nice gain on that catch and run there for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. That's a gain of 9 yards down to the Pittsburgh Steelers' 29-yard line.
After the last 3 games in which they've lost. So, their formula was protecting the ball, taking the ball away on defense.
And here we go. Joe Burrow is in shotgun. inside the 30-yard line on 2nd and 6.
Bengals don't have to snap it if they don't want.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning.
These Steelers to jump, and they did not. Back and forth we have gone tonight on a windy, cold, at times snowy night in Pittsburgh. Bengals up 3.
I'm Jason Kelsey. As a full-time fan, my routine is a little bit different.
Bum 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 ba da da dun dun ba da da dun 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 ba da da dun da. So after the turnover here, Joe Burrow and the offense looking to take advantage and increase their lead before the halftime. How's everybody doing? Everyone having a good new year? Thank you for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. What's up? Flex on them. That's right. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, when we get to halftime here, well, you know what? We'll go ahead and go over at least the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive stats here. Right now, Russell Wilson's only 2 for 4 right now, passing the ball for 25 yards. Not good at all. We also see rushing the ball. Najee Harris has 9 carries for 35 yards. Jalen Warren with 4 carries for 12 yards. As a team, they had 14 carries for 48 yards right now in the game. And Mike Williams has 1 catch for 25 yards. And that is it, guys. That is it. George Pickens has a catch for 0 yards. Woo! And this is why you do not play fantasy football in the last week of the season.
At the app.
One of my favorite weekends of the year, the final weekend of the season with all the playoff implications.
Well, Justin Fields is hurt, right? Yeah, and we are in the first half.
Lions and Vikings. That one's going to be outstanding. Congratulations, Mike and Chris.
And now here we go. Joe Burrow in shotgun on 2nd and 6, looking to throw. Gets that out quick to his backup tight end, Sample, but he's tackled immediately by Patrick Queen. That's only a gain of a yard on the play. So a timeout, Pittsburgh, with 1:55 to go here.
Maybe our total replay brought to you by United.
We'll take a look at some of the single coverage that we've seen Pittsburgh provide to the Cincinnati Bengals in the way that Burrow has been able to take advantage of it. He's got Gesicki, and then they come back with the touchdown, but all one-on-one. And, these receivers, between Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Gesicki, he's listed as a tight end. It's about the only thing that makes him a tight end. They throw the ball about 85% of the time when he's on the field. And he lines up in the slot most of the time. And he's more wide receiver than he is tight end. And he's gotten a lot of action here in this first half.
Here we go, 3rd down and 6 coming up here for the Bengals. Burrow looking to throw a blitz coming from Pittsburgh, and that's a fumble! And the Bengals fall on top of it, but it's TJ Watt who comes in with the sack and the strip fumble there. But there's a penalty flag on the play.
But there's going to be a defensive hold on the play by the Steelers, which will give the Bengals a first down.
And oh my goodness, folks, this penalty marker could be on Pittsburgh and take away the sack from TJ Watt.
Holding. Defense number 27.
And it is defensive holding.
The previous spot. Automatic. First down.
That's against Corey Trice.
And that's an automatic first down for the Bengals. And yep, that is holding there for the defense.
We talked about it. You got Minka Fitzpatrick who's working his way, but essentially he's locked up, and Jamar Chase beat him off the line of scrimmage for the touchdown. He beat him off the line there, and Trice just...
And here we go now, first down and 10 for the Bengals. They'll hand it off to Herbert. Herbert follows his blockers, and he's able to get a gain of close to 4 yards on that carry. Second down and 6 coming up here for the Bengals.
Continues to run with a minute 40 to go. No rush, obviously.
And we're here at a minute 40 to go in the first half. Bengals are leading 10-7 and marching down the field here to increase their lead.
They're going to knock the ball out. It's just part of what happens when you play against the Steelers. We just got to overcome it, and that's what he's trying to do here.
Now here we go, the Cincinnati Bengals on 2nd and 7 at the 21-yard line. Burrow in shotgun. Pittsburgh showing blitz. They rush 4. Burrow gets rid of that quickly, but a whistle on the play.
That play never happened.
And there's a penalty flag on the play as they've blown that play dead.
With a running clock, by the way.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So that's a false start on Orlando Brown, number 75, as he moved just too early there. And a little scuffle going on between Jamar Chase and number 27, Trice Jr. And they've been working Trice for a couple of times there.
Now is that carries a 10-second runoff that can be declined by Pittsburgh. And if they
doesn't
want
want the 10-second runoff, correction. By rule, inside of 2 minutes with a running clock, a false start will create a 10-second runoff. Pittsburgh has declined the 10-second runoff.
And that's their option. They can decline a 10-second runoff here. The clock will still start on the referees are ready for play.
So now here we go. They put a couple of seconds back on the clock. A minute 13 left to go here in the first half. Burrow here in shotgun. Ball at the 26-yard line. Second down and 12. Pittsburgh is showing blitz. Burrow in shotgun. Pittsburgh rushes 4. Burrow, quick pass there. Oh! And I think that was intercepted, and it is! Pittsburgh takes it away! What a play there from the defense! Wow! Talk about momentum change there for Pittsburgh. They got the turnover they most desperately needed. And we see here on the replay, it's tipped by Patrick Queen and then caught by number 31, Bishop, off of the tip pass. Wow, just incredible there. How did he make that catch? Holy guacamole! Well, unfortunately there, Motown, it looks like they ain't going to punch it in nowhere. Some ugly ball being played here at the end of the half. Can Wilson do anything with it? Hey, I don't know there, Motown Mitch. It's a very good question. Right now in this game, Russell Wilson has not looked good at all. And you would have thought he would have been able to throw the ball against this Cincinnati Bengals defense, but he has not been able to do that all game long. He only has 25 passing yards right now in the first half. So I can't really tell you if he's going to do anything here. They got less than 2 minutes to go right now in the first half. It's a minute 10. They got the ball at the 17-yard line, so they really got to march it down the field a whole lot in order for them to get some points here just before the half. All right, guys, we're almost here to halftime. We'll take a quick break here, go hit the restroom, get a snack, get a drink, come back and hang out with you guys for the second half here on Tim Reynolds Show.
It's exactly what the Steelers needed, and they have 2 timeouts. Yeah, and good.
So with 2 timeouts remaining, we'll see if Pittsburgh can do anything with the ball here. They haven't been able to pass all game thus far. So that's their 32nd takeaway for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is the most in the NFL. And that's tipped up in the air and almost intercepted right back for the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Wow.
I thought initially it was deflected at the line of scrimmage because it's rare that you see Joe Burrow throw the ball behind, especially.
And now here, Russell Wilson on 2nd and 10 in shotgun. Another quick throw out to his tight end. That's Frank Freiermuth. And that is a first down there on that 2nd and 10. And they get the ball out there.
3 for 6 for 36 yards.
Down to the 28-yard line. Wilson going to look to throw here again. Under a minute to go. Wilson scrambling to his left, and he'll just get rid of that one.
3 for 7.
So incomplete pass, 54 seconds to go here in this
He's
game.
got a sack in the game and 15 on the year.
Well, the guy that, they missed when he was out of the lineup, he returned last week against Kansas City after missing 3 games with a hamstring injury, is George Pickens. And
here we go, Russell Wilson in shotgun, 4 wide receiver set. Cincinnati showing blitz, and they do bring an extra man. Wilson gets that out to his tight end, and Freiermuth gets out of bounds, close to a first down marker on that catch.
Well, they come right back and basically run the exact same route that they ran just a moment ago, 2 plays earlier to him. And anyone who knows Arthur Smith, they know that he likes to play multiple tight ends. We're going to look and see whether or not, in fact, if he got the line to gain for the first down.
So they're going to review this upcoming play here to see if Freiermuth was short. And there's a quick expedited review, and he'll be a half a yard short of the first down marker.
John Hussey, he calls a clean game. Sure does. He does a good job.
He does. Now, 1 point, though, he did announce 3rd down. That was 2nd down, so it'll be 3rd down.
Seconds, please. 4-0. Thank you.
So it is 3rd down and 1. You said a half yard, but it's a full yard short of a first down.
So here we go, 3rd down and 1 coming up here for Russell Wilson. He's under center, and that's a QB sneak for the first down. Little surprised to see that. And that's a quick timeout there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll be their 2nd timeout, but they do get the first down.
And with that timeout, we will welcome you inside the broadcast booth, Joe Buck, along with Troy Aikman. And, well, it hasn't been pretty for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they've let Cincinnati get deep into their own territory. They've only got 10 points on the board, Cincinnati. And the Steelers.
Yeah, Motown, been a little bit of a long night. Been doing a lot of stuff around the house and tried to get some extra sleep today because I was a little under the weather. But, we're battling through here, man.
Create some of the takeaways, what they had really been banking on for a big part of this season, and they hadn't been getting them over the last few weeks. They come up big down here and slow down Joe Burrow, but we'll see what they're able to do. I do sense that they're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm going for them. They're looking at this right now, Joe, to see whether or not, in fact, he even got the first down there. So initially they ruled that it was a new set of downs and a first down.
So they are reviewing this play to see if Wilson
and then the call came down that
got the first down marker.
Yeah, it looks like when he's down, the ball is short. So I expect a reversal. And if it is, it'll be 4th down.
Okay, everybody, that's lunch.
All right, thank you everybody for hanging out here as we'll go over the Cincinnati Bengals stats before we get to halftime. Joe Burrow, 18 for 21 for 125 yards, 1 touchdown pass and 1 interception, although he has been sacked 2 times from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Khalil Herbert with 9 carries for 27 yards. Mike Gesicki is the leading receiver with 5 catches for 38 yards for the tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase with 4 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins with 2 catches for 20 yards. And Khalil Herbert has 4 catches for 14 yards as well in this game. As the Cincinnati Bengals lead 10-7 here with Pittsburgh driving down the field.
Was just made by John Hussey that Russell Wilson was indeed tapped down by Akeem Davis Gaither short of the line to gain, so it is 4th down for Pittsburgh. As you see the elbow down, the ball short of the 38.
Well, that one's hard to believe because normally as a defense, if you're anticipating quarterback sneak, which they were, you would put defenders in those gaps, and Cincinnati kind of conceded it. I thought it was going to be an easy pickup for a first down. And here they are now left with 4th.
So now Pittsburgh trying to figure out what to do here.
Is going to go over and explain it to Mike Tomlin. Tomlin's got 1 timeout. You could try to draw him offside. If you go for it and don't get it, you got Cincinnati with 3 timeouts. They're a half-yard short of a first down here.
So what they're talking to Tomlin about right here is there's a 10-second runoff. He can avoid it by taking a timeout.
So we just faced that when Cincinnati had the ball.
Pittsburgh has elected to not use their timeout. We're checking with Cincinnati. Cincinnati has elected to take a timeout. Therefore, there is no 10-second runoff.
So now Cincinnati has 2 timeouts. Pittsburgh has 1. And there are
a long review here for the referees in this one.
Before a 4th down and half a yard, and the offense remains out there. We know Kansas City's the number 1 seed.
As we see the AFC playoff picture with the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens all clinching their divisions, including the Houston Texans. And now Pittsburgh will try to draw Cincinnati offsides. They'll hike it, hand it off to Warren, and Warren, did he get there? He's going to be close. It's going to be really close here for Pittsburgh, and they're going to give him a first down.
See the indication by the official, and it was close.
Yeah, it sure was close, and that was a big play at this point in the game for them to be going for it on 4th down. And granted, it wasn't much, but if Cincinnati had been able to make the stop, they're going to look at it again and see it's close as to whether or not he got it.
Well, again, they've already moved the chain.
Oh, they reversed it. The runner was short of the line to gain, and now Cincinnati gets the ball back after that turnover on downs. That's a huge play coming up here for the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Yeah, starting with Freiermuth, it looked like he was, could have gotten it. Instead, he comes up short. They don't get it with the quarterback sneak, and now with
Wow. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as the Pittsburgh Steelers are trailing 10-7, and they just turned the ball over on downs with 48 seconds remaining. And the Bengals offense comes out here in shotgun on 1st and 10 at the 38. Burrow looking to throw. Gets rid of it, and it looks like it's caught, and it is by Jamar Chase. Ball at the 31-yard line, and there's a timeout there by Cincinnati.
Boy, absolutely demoralizing for the Pittsburgh sidelines. We'll see whether or not Zach Taylor and his team offensively can capitalize.
Here are the last few plays by Pittsburgh.
Bam!
Who was initially ruled with a first down. They reversed it and said he was short. Then Russell Wilson, they said first down. Reversed it, said he was short. Then Jalen Warren, they said first down. And they reversed it and said he was short on 3 straight plays.
So now here we go. Cincinnati on 2nd down and 4 with 1 timeout remaining. 43 seconds to go. In shotgun, Burrow going to look to throw. Dumps it off to his tight end, Sample, and Sample trucks over a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he gets close to the first down marker, but the clock is still running here.
I mean, that remains to be seen. They're moving the chains.
I'm a little skeptical.
Final charge timeout, Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati takes their final timeout.
Final timeout as Drew Sample was hit short of the first down and then fought his way to the line of game.
How about Sample on that play, man? He catches it, and he's able to get down up the field there through the tacklers and get enough for the first down there.
But with the line of game being at the 27.5, there's really no good place for them to put it. I don't think we'll get a review here. So no review. First down, 31 seconds left. No time.
So here we go, 31 seconds remaining. Burrow in shotgun. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Steelers show blitz. They rush 4. Burrow to the end zone. Oh, it's T. Higgins. He makes a beautiful grab as he's inside the 10-yard line. That looked like it was going for a touchdown, but Higgins cuts his route short, jumps in front of the safety, and makes a beautiful grab. Man, he went up and grabbed that ball, and he steps out of bounds at the 9-yard line. That's an amazing catch and run there. And that's a gain there of 18 yards for Cincinnati. And now Burrow here in shotgun. The Bengals have no timeouts remaining. Herbert in the backfield with Burrow. Joe looking to throw. He tosses it to Herbert. That's going to be incomplete. So that'll stop the clock there. And it'll be 2nd and goal now from the 9-yard line for Cincinnati.
And it's of course to Joe Burrow's front side. Here he is, but his get off.
So we see here on the replay, TJ Watt really affects the play there, forcing Burrow, I should say, to have to get the ball to his running back, Khalil Herbert, and that's an incomplete pass. And now here we go. It's 23 seconds remaining. Burrow in shotgun, 2nd and goal. He's going to look to throw. Gets it off, and it's batted down from the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And that's Cam Hayward once again, who gets his hands up and bats that pass down.
Which gives him the most in the league now, 2 tonight.
Boom!
Get there because Burrow's getting the ball out so quickly, and he just gets his hands up, makes a play. Now, there's probably people wondering how come they're not helping Ford on the right-hand side with TJ Watt. Joe Burrow is one of those quarterbacks. He likes 5 eligibles into the route. I mean, he wants as many receiving options as he can get and let him navigate the
All right, Burrow in shotgun on 3rd and goal. Looking to throw, throws it deep, and that's through the hands of Jamar Chase, who couldn't ring it in, and now it's 4th and goal.
At the start of this possession, after turning it over on downs, if they could hold Cincinnati to a field.
And Jamar Chase just not able to bring that pass in as it goes right through his fingers, through the end zone, and even Joe can't believe it. Like, what? And now 4th down and goal, and Cade York will come out here for the field goal attempt.
In the perfect
27 yards.
Makes that play. 27-yard drive by Caleb.
And no hope to make it a 6-point lead here. The kick is up and good, and the Bengals take a 13-7 lead with 16 seconds remaining here in the second half. Or I should say the first half.
Put it in the end zone only once, and that was on their first possession of the night on the touchdown throw to Jamar Chase. So Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow have got to be frustrated with what they have been unable to do, and that is get touchdowns. Steelers defense tonight. They have been able to get pressure and bother Joe Burrow. This was ruled a fumble. Preston Smith got his second sack as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And then the interception. Patrick Queen, Beanie Bishop.
You know, they don't help. Sorry, Joe. They don't help this offensive line out too much because they don't run the ball all that much. There's not much play action in this offense. It really is a straight drop back. Let Joe Burrow find his guy, get 5 receivers out in the route. And so this offensive line, that's hard to do when you're essentially pass blocking for a drop back passer 60, 70 snaps a game. Well, they're not throwing it that much, but you get what I'm saying. And it's challenging. And so in this first half, Joe Burrow, he's going to get roughed up a little bit as he has.
16 seconds left in the half. Wild card weekend is coming up. This is next week. And we don't know any of the matchups or what network will provide you those matchups. Or we do know that we'll be on the air on Monday night, January 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ABC with a wild card game. We just don't know where, between who.
No, but we know we're going to be awfully excited about it.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait for the playoffs to begin.
And here we go. Pittsburgh's offense comes out here. 1st and 10 at the 30. Russell Wilson in shotgun. 16 seconds. Pittsburgh has 2 timeouts. And Wilson goes down for the sack. And that will more than likely take us to halftime.
And Osai made the stop, and that's going to do it. Steelers will get the ball.
And Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers struggling big time in this matchup. Russell Wilson 4 for 8 for 48 yards passing. They only got 48 yards rushing as they are under 100 total yards of offense in the first half here for Pittsburgh. For the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, 153 yards passing with 1 TD and 1 interception.
We got to be aggressive. We got to play to win.
9 carries for 27 yards for Herbert. Jamar Chase with 5 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins with 3 catches for 38 yards. And Mike Gesicki with 5 catches for 38 yards for the Bengals.
That's what we have to do.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, it is halftime. Thanks for hanging out here, guys. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show.
In that fight for the 7th seed in the AFC playoff picture. Stay tuned. All-State halftime comes your way next.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street league.
All right, peace out, guys. We're going to come back for the second half.